What is the deal with making a weekly schedule? Have you ever wondered how you can get more time in your life? In today's episode of What's the Deal With, we're going to talk through what are some tips and tricks for making yourself a weekly schedule. You're probably watching this video in one of our online classes here at PC. And in order to make you the most successful, we think that you need to have a weekly schedule and really schedule out time for your math class. You should have a copy of the weekly calendar in front of you, and you're going to want that as you follow along with this video. The first thing we need to think about when doing our weekly schedule is we need to put all of the events in our life that can't move. For instance, I'm a parent, I have kids. I need to pick them up on certain days of the week at certain times. That can't move unless I get somebody to cover for me. I want you to think about your schedule. Maybe it's your work schedule and you know that you work every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from this time to this time. I want you to put those events on your calendar that aren't movable. So again, putting on your work hours, putting on if you have to pick up kids from daycare or drop them off, that sort of thing. Things that are not movable, they are commitments that have to stay on your calendar. Will you please fill those in? And let me just give you an example of what that would look like as well. Here is my Monday, and I want to think about, I need to drop my kids off at school. So I know that that's going to take me from 7:30 to 8 a.m. I'm going to put drop kids. The reason I'm going to put that in is because I know that I can't do anything else during that time. I'm driving, right? I can't do my math. I can't think about any other things. I've got to just focus on dropping my kids off. Then I want you to think about maybe you have a job and maybe you work from 12 to 3, okay? So I would write over here, work. And again, notice that I can't do anything from 12 to 3 because I'm scheduled for work. So now you're going to do this for every day of the week. Now, what if your schedule fluctuates a little bit? That could be tricky. Try it for 1 week, and then you're going to adjust it for the next week. Like let's say your work schedule isn't the same every week. You might have to adjust it every week as you go. By the way, this is something I do in my own personal life, and I'm no longer a student. I have a weekly calendar that keeps me on track for everything I need to do so that I don't forget anything. Next up is I want you to get a different color. You're going to have to give yourself some time to eat. I know that seems a little silly, but when you're super busy, you might have to think about that. So I want you to put in some times for eating breaks. Think about, do you normally eat breakfast? Do you normally eat lunch? Are you a snacker? I want you to really think through what are going to be your times to eat and give yourself 20, 30 minutes. I would say at least 30 minutes. So go ahead and put down some times to eat on your calendar every day. I also want you to put down sleeping time. Now you might be thinking, Marcia, I sleep when I can, but let me tell you this. If you're not paying attention to your sleep, your life will suffer. You will become less able to absorb material as a student. You will become unhappier. There is all kinds of research to show how good sleeping is for you. Now, I don't mean, oversleeping, but I want you to try and schedule a reasonable amount of time for you to sleep. Think about what time do you normally like to go to bed and what time do you normally like to sleep in. That needs to fit in your schedule as well. So go ahead and schedule that right now. Now you've got your eating breaks, you've got sleeping, and you've got all of your activities that cannot move. Some of your schedules might be already looking a little bit crazy. Like if you work full time and you have kids or family and you have other responsibilities, your schedule might not look like mine and it might have hardly any free time available. In this case, we're going to have to think about how can you steal time. So I want you to think about what things can you steal time from in order to get a little time for your classes. And depending on if you're in one online class or maybe you're taking multiple online classes or maybe you're taking one online and several in person, either way, if you've got multiple classes, you need to think about scheduling multiple times for those classes. One of the biggest things we see is we'll have students that are taking multiple classes and they'll say things like, well, I ran out of time for this class because my other class needed the time. That's not going to work. We need to schedule that on our calendar. So I want you to think about how many classes are you taking, and then I want you to think about scheduling time for each of those classes. Now, it might not be every day. I will tell you though, from a math point of view, if you are not doing math every day, you will find it very difficult to be successful in an online math class. It is crucial that you spend minimum 30 to 45 minutes a day, and honestly, you probably need even more, to be successful in the class. Let's also think about our seat time. If you were taking this class in person, you would be sitting in the class for 200 minutes a week. That would be a 4-credit hour class. You have to plan for 200 minutes a week plus homework. Now let's just do a little math for a second. If I say 200 minutes a week and I have 7 days, what does that mean that I'm spending on average for each day? It's approximately 28 minutes. Now you might be thinking, okay, I can spend 30 minutes a day, but hold on. That's only your seat time for being in your class. That's not your practice time. That's not your homework time. That's not studying. So really you need to think about that this class is going to take you at minimum 9 hours a week. That means 540 minutes. So I've got 200 minutes just to learn the material and another 340 minutes just to process, to practice. If I think about 340 minutes divided by 7, so I've got 28 minutes, about 30 minutes just to watch videos, to learn the material. Then I've got this 340 minutes. It's a little less than 50. I'm going to say it's about 45 minutes to practice every day. This means that if I'm signing up to take an online course, I need to be planning for, again, I'm using rough approximations, about 1 hour and 15 minutes a day for my class if I want to be successful. Go ahead and schedule that in. You might even want to think of it as scheduling in your learning time, scheduling in your practice time. I think that's a good plan, but you want to make sure you can get to 1 hour, 15 minutes in your schedule. Do that for every single day. Hopefully this is giving you an idea of what you need to put in and what your schedule needs to look like in order to be successful in the online math class. If for some reason you're finding, I just don't have the time, again, you need to think about where can you steal time from other areas. If you're saying, Marcia, my number one, all of my commitments really took up the majority of my calendar, then I might say to you, I'm not sure that an online class is going to be a good fit for you. Maybe you need to think about how you can rearrange your schedule in order to be successful in the future. What we absolutely hate to see as online math instructors is when students are overcommitted, and then that just leads to this stressed out mess. You're not happy. No one's happy because you're not being able to be successful in the math class, and in truth, you really didn't have a schedule that allowed you to be successful in the math class. And then what's even more unfortunate is students interpret that as, I'm just not good at math and I just can't do this, when that's not true. It's just that your schedule doesn't allow it. Hopefully this is going to give you some ideas on how to be creative. I want you to be free to think outside the box, think about stealing time so that you can be successful in your online math class. I hope that this video is giving you some ideas on how to make a weekly schedule, and you've now got some strategies in place to be successful in your classes.